God. What in the wide world of sports happened there? I have no freaking idea.
And that was the third time I got mad cow disease.
Yes. Third time you got mad cow disease. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes you go crazy.
If you're a cow. Oh, I know what the problem was, Rob. Your on-air sign behind you is not turned on.
It's America. That's got to be it. Oh. Yeah, it's weird. It worked today. Like when I set up the stream earlier today, everything was fine. Everything was absolutely fine with YouTube.
Did you mute your mic?
Not hear me?
No, I got the echo.
Oh, gotcha. You have an echo?
I got you twice, but no one else seems to be complaining about it, I guess.
Yeah, my mic's not working. Hello. Yeah, my mic is being
intermittent.
Yeah, really intermittent. I'm about to just call this whole thing off.
No, let's try it again. One last college try. Hi, Rob. How was your week?
Oh, it was great. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. How was your week? Your week sucked.
I there wasn't much to it. Let's see.
You laid around a lot.
Monday morning, I woke up about halfway to the ground, and then woke up again hours later.
Yes.
From my bed, just for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And it fucking hurt too. Because we
Yes.
showed every guy's last stream. We'll show it again. It did not tickle.
No.
And really, should have seen the other guy. That dude got bloodied.
So I get a text at about 10 something in the morning, I think it was. Let's see, what time was it? I'll tell you, actually, because I don't remember exactly. But let's see.
A lot's happened since then.
Oh, yeah. So Michael texted me. Oh, no, it was 1:22 in the afternoon. So you must have done it a lot earlier than this.
We're now thinking I did it shortly after Benji left for school.
Right. So I get a text,
which was around 9.
It says, I bet my headache is worse than yours. And I'm like, oh my God, what'd you do, dude?
I didn't even have a headache.
Yeah. And Michael's answer was, I rolled out of bed and found a Lego set. Well, and I'm like, with your head? And he's like, forehead. And then I get a text later on that at about 5:00 that the doc was able to super glue it and that your wife, Jody, was pissed as hell.
True story.
That was a true story. Yes. And then I wake up the next morning at 4 a.m. and I get another text. Hey, they didn't let me go home.
No.
The doctors kept me.
The thing is, when you go to the hospital, they give you like a once over and they find something they can keep you there for. They find a way to keep you there for it.
Oh, yes, they do.
I mean, traumatic brain injury possibility is probably worth looking over.
Right.
The rules.
So we'll go back. Let's go back to the beginning.
You see, there was back in the day, in the good old days of end of March, I had suffered some nasty side effects to a new prescription, which crescendoed into, among other symptoms, was something called acute respiratory failure.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time this week I spent a week in the hospital. This year. And that wasn't fun either. But
no,
that involved 5 to 7 firemen in my bedroom, uninvited by me at least. And getting yelled at and barked at by them, wondering, why are you here? And of course, I'm in my shorts at the time, my boxers. So that was fun. And then we're going to the hospital. Ooh, that's fun. Things to do on a Monday.
Yes.
Admittedly, it had been an odd Monday for me. Like I said, I was going through some weird side effects. Let's see how we make this up on the quick.
Yeah, we got time. Whatever.
Yeah, the docs. Since I'm now in the hospital and admitted for the night, which was fun, and luckily there's things I don't remember, like to prove I wasn't on fentanyl, like they were sure I was. I had to give a urine sample.
Right.
I don't really pee on command. Sometimes I pee on demand, but so I had to get a catheter, and thank goodness, do not remember a thing about it.
Oh yeah, no.
Jody was actually, I guess you could say, revolted having to watch it, but
So let me tell you because I have a catheter story.
oh, these are fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes they call them a Foley.
So 15 years old I broke my back when I was 15 and I'm in the hospital and I have no idea what it's 14 or 15. I don't know, but, I'm in the hospital and they come in and I fell off the roof and broke my back. And they come in and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to get a catheter." And my dad goes, and I'm like, I don't know what that word means, but my dad goes, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck are you gonna do to me now? and sure enough, they did it.
And my dumbass would just be like, immediately thinking, well, an IV is a type of catheter. So I'm thinking I'm going to get a new IV put in somewhere.
Nope, they're going to shove things in things that shouldn't be shoved in.
When I had my surgery for my neck, I remember hearing someone mentioned, like during prep and whatnot, that one would be put in because it was a 3-hour, 4-hour surgery.
Right.
And they just don't want you making a mess right there in the OR. But I had totally slipped my mind, and it was done after anesthesia was put in and whatnot, and it was removed before recovery room.
Okay.
So
all right. So back to it. So
that was lucky that time.
You did. Patty's like, I came in at the wrong time. You can't see Patty's chat because we don't have it in the main thing now. I have to watch it on YouTube because everything's all screwed up tonight. But anyway,
hi Patty, nice to see you.
Yeah, she's there if you yeah, so Michael goes to the hospital, gets
I get an amateur diagnosis of sleep apnea while I'm there.
And this was back in April. This was the April time. April, they say sleep apnea.
And that sort of a diagnosis calls for a sleep study, which I have within the next couple of weeks.
Right.
And the diagnosis is confirmed.
And not only is it confirmed, the doctor says, holy crap, you have some of the worst sleep apnea that I've ever seen.
He said 83 apneas an hour, and just simple math with, breaths per hour and minutes in an hour, that's just, I don't know. I'm not a medical guy.
Right.
But most people would get what's called a CPAP. I get what's called a BiPAP. The CPAP just gives you airflow as you're inhaling. The BiPAP gives you the airflow inhaling, and it also pushes air back in while you're exhaling, but you hold on to it for a while longer.
Right. Yeah, so I guess it's partially it is the pressure, right, of it coming and going and all that.
Yep.
And so it's how the pressure is all figured out and everything.
Yep. And it was and it's not a new science. It's not, the latest thing out of Europe. It's
right.
So the people ordering these medical treatments have a good study and know what they're doing, what the results should be.
Okay, so we're back in April. Everybody stick with us here because our storytelling is bad.
And the doc
back in April. Doc says
you're not leaving this hospital without
oxygen.
A BiPAP at home and oxygen at home.
Right. And you get told, surely enough, that you're going to get it from the medical supply store.
But I am not leaving this hospital until they set it up.
Right.
Which they apparently were dragging their feet on.
Right.
Because I could have left 2 days earlier, but we were just still waiting. And it's like getting into 1600, 4 o'clock on Friday. But somebody crack a whip because I don't see anyone working.
Right.
And this is also Easter, and I knew that they
They
sure
were
don't
gonna, oh,
work on
that's
weekends.
right. They're not going to work Easter. That's right. We talked about that. They're not working Easter. So okay, so we think Monday at the latest we'll get the thing.
And I don't know how many of you guys love hanging out in hospitals, but the beds are terrible.
Right.
So
And
after
so
3, 4 days and nights, I'm done.
Michael finally says, I'm going home. Get me my stuff. So he goes home. Probably against medical advice, but he goes ahead and goes home.
But
it's coming. Help is coming. Oxygen
the whole issue was
coming.
That started it was a reaction to new meds. And I'm not taking my meds while I'm in the hospital because the hospital's giving me the meds to take.
Yep.
Which wasn't my normal routine.
Right.
So I get home and the next business day, I just start my med treatment again. And within about 45 minutes of taking my round of pills, I was like, oh my God, it's the pills. As I'm just having some spasm attack.
And you figured that out.
And we discontinued those.
Well, and so
follow up with my doctor.
Yep, that helped. But you still needed the BiPAP.
And
not
the
so much
order
the
was
oxygen.
Sent. Well,
but
this isn't the orders. This is you got to have the sleep study first for the BiPAP issued.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So end of April, go out the sleep study. They say you got the worst sleep apnea we've ever seen.
And they said pick a medical product provider.
Yep.
This name, that name, that name. I picked this name because that other name was the name I was waiting on for days on end to try to get out of the hospital earlier.
Exactly.
I'm not giving them another chance.
Nope.
So I go with these guys because so far they got a better rep.
Yeah. So,
and then the wait begins. I try and figure out what's taking. Seems pretty obvious.
Yep. And we wait.
And I call and they say, we're waiting on insurance approval. This could take up to 30 days. And I say, what happens on day 35? I never really get an answer. And we wait.
And day 30 comes and goes, and day 35 comes and goes. And then finally we get somebody.
And I'm getting phone calls now that end with like, don't call us, we'll call you.
Yep. Still needing this medical stuff. Still needing it. Absolutely needing medical intervention.
And it gets to the point that
but eventually the insurance now says, we don't really believe that you are that bad. We don't believe that you need this as much as you say you need this. There's no way that your numbers are like this.
And they order a second sleep study.
Yes.
Except
second sleep study.
That's going through the sleep center, not really through the medical product provider who's been notified I need another sleep study, but they don't really tell anyone like the sleep center. They're just waiting for the results of that second sleep study to come in.
I lost you there.
Which part?
After they're just waiting for the sleep study to come in.
Yeah, I was pausing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They're just waiting for the results of the sleep study. They didn't tell anyone they were waiting for.
I need to watch the right screen too. I was watching the delayed screen because everything's all screwed up tonight. Oh my God.
So after we figure out that kazoo, we figured this out because I was just frustrated at the nothing. We're getting close to fall now. And
okay, and so let me jump in here too. You as you're going through these months, and I see it very clear as day now, right now, that you had progressively worse medical symptoms happening to you over the months that you have not gotten the BiPAP. I mean, honestly,
sure, I'm not going to deny it. Yeah. Bright fair assessment.
And I can see it in your mind. I can see it in your mind, right? I can see the difference now after you have come out of the hospital, having some days of rest, right? And the proper treatment that you needed. I can see it in your entire essence. If that
Just
that makes
days.
sense. It just 4 days, right?
Right.
So months and months have happened. So you start having symptoms again of the swelling, right? The
Yeah, the
swelling in
swelling,
your legs. And
pulmonary edema, which is fluid on the lungs, but it's also fluid in the extremities, like the legs. And with hypertension, there is also swelling for, like a career, but you control those with obviously your hypertension medication and compression socks.
right.
And that would normally get you through the day.
Yes.
No, this was no longer getting through the day. My lower legs and even above my knees were turning just into these fluid balloons.
Mm-hmm.
So much that the skin was stretched and shiny. And it negated the use of the joints. A lot of time, I got to a point I couldn't bend my knees enough to put on my socks.
Right.
Or climb a ladder or just any number of things.
Right. And then it culminated with you trying to get out of bed and your legs not working.
Almost.
And
I actually broke down and got a doctor's appointment. This is wrong. Someone needs to do something.
Right. Yep. That's right.
Except this is just one other time I've left the doctor's office with let's monitor and see.
Oh, Jesus.
And I bring this up because the hospital, through an injected medication treatment over the course of a couple of days, completely drained the lower half of my body.
Right. Insane.
What are we trying to see, people?
It's just insanity.
And then, so while we're waiting and seeing, Monday morning, I'm just going to assume was just trying to get out of bed.
Yep.
Except
because you have no memory of it. You have no memory of it. I mean, do you remember texting me this picture?
Yes.
Oh, you do remember the picture?
Yeah, that was hours. Okay. That was after I woke up off the bed.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Jesus.
I've kind of showered, the dryer stuff off my face.
Right.
And but what brought me out of bed versus vaguely remembering Benji saying something as he was leaving for school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that happened.
Right. And then so I know we've talked about this, but for the listeners, the craziest thing was the Lego, right?
Right.
The Lego. All of a sudden, I get this text. I found a Lego set, and I was texting with my mom, telling her what was going on, and I said the Lego set. She's like, "What is this Lego set?" I'm like, "I don't know. I got to see it though. Somebody's got to send me this Lego set because I got to see what kind of Lego set causes that kind of hole in somebody's head."
I lost your sound.
Oh,
that could be me down here.
Might have unplugged your headset.
I believe it did.
Yep. So yeah, I'm curious what kind of damn did you plug it back in?
I did.
All right, let me hit that. Okay, and then I'm wondering what kind of Lego set leaves a hole in somebody's head that big?
Well, chances are it was Star Wars, except we've also revisited the crime scene and there's no Lego set.
No, there's not. There's no Lego set. There's no Legos anywhere near your bed.
There's a stain in the carpet, but
there's a big old stain in that carpet.
So we're thinking now that it's likely if I didn't just get a square bullseye with the floor, that I hit a dresser drawer coming down.
Right. Gotcha.
I remember waking up about halfway to the ground, which I've done that before.
Okay.
Military, watch 2 a.m.
Right. So you get in the hospital. Now I get this text at 4 a.m. I'm in the hospital and they didn't let me go home. And, my oxygen is back down to 7. So,
side note, after the second sleep study, they then changed the story to the doctor didn't include the certificate of medical necessity.
The certificate of medical,
even still.
Yes, the certificate of medical necessity. Correct. They didn't include the certificate,
or they didn't find it if it was sent.
Right.
Someone somewhere, something.
And so you've taken a second sleep study, and this was a couple weeks ago that you did this, and they confirmed that you have horrible sleep apnea.
And they're telling me that they're just waiting on insurance. It was insurance that ordered the second sleep study.
Yes.
that they didn't tell us about that we did.
Right.
And we got them their information. And she tells me, and this is at the first place I went to, she's telling me that they're still waiting on insurance and a little more pride prodding. No, I think I just canceled them. I said, okay, you know what? Never mind. Throw it away.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going with
so-
ProCare.
So folks, this made me mad.
This is almost a play-by-play day-to-day.
He calls up the place because like I stop by the store and I say, hey, call the place, find out about your damn shit. So he calls the place and the person says, well, we're waiting on insurance. And Michael,
I pretty much just told them, no, that is not the same thing I was told last time.
exactly.
And
You can't be. We're past this. You've done this.
I have to be my own advocate here because they're not.
Right. Exactly.
And
she got crappy with you, right? I mean, she immediately
she's
got
just about
nasty
giving me
with
what
you.
for over the phone. And I was like, I did not use foul language. I did not cast aspersions.
No, that was the first call. You said, just
yeah.
cancel me. You just said, just cancel me. Then I'll get it somewhere else. Just send it to ProCare. Oops. Sorry. I didn't send it to the other one. And not like it matters. They all suck. We're finding out.
No one's winning.
So send it to the other one. And then a little bit later, you get a call from somebody from the first place telling you can't talk to my staff that way, which you did not talk to the staff anyway. I mean, there was.
Well, she's trying to talk me out of taking my business elsewhere was the goal of her phone call. But wow, swing and a miss on talent.
Yeah.
And she said, I will work with you, but you will not talk to my staff. Well, yeah, you're correct about it. Won't talk with your staff that way.
Because I'm not going to talk to your staff at all.
Because I'm not done talking to you. Oh, fine. We'll just send you to. Yes.
Yeah, please. Go.
First thing you've done for me.
Now. Thank you.
And
so this was before you end up in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
So you go back to the hospital, have the treatment. Doctor says we're going to. So this is
the diagnosis
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Confirm with the doctor that says I'm not going to let you out unless you have this stuff.
Mm-hmm. He's just medical risk. He can't sign off saying this person's good to go home without this in the home.
Yep. So we are now 36 hours from you being in the hospital, having the BiPAP treatments, 36 hours out of the hospital, and you still have no BiPAP machine at home.
Correct.
You have not gotten approval from the insurance because this company won't set it up, won't give out the thing without approval from the insurance company. There's been a letter of medical necessity from an emergency or from the hospital doctor.
I spoke with the hospital today and she confirmed that the physician that was treating me this week made it very clear in the orders why I need what's being ordered.
Right. Oh yeah. No, it is a medical necessity that he has this.
Last
called
I got
twice today and had to leave a voicemail. The medical industry, and folks, this is supposedly what some people out there want us to go to, which is the government health care. This is
order
what
status.
we're supposed to tell you. You know, this is supposed to be the greatest thing in since sliced cheese.
We have contacted your provider to request additional information or updates regarding your order. This information is necessary for us to move forward.
And that's you have an online portal.
Yeah. Vague.
So I guess,
this is winning? Where?
I don't know. I mean, how in the world how much more can
let's think of it as
somebody go through? I mean,
a medically necessary thing. The symptoms I'm going through crescendo into,
Right.
fatality.
No, absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
And over this summer, insurance has, I almost say, conspired to not provide the things that doctors ordered because the insurance medical administrators didn't go to medical school, but the guys who did, and what they're recommending,
Right.
they're arguing about that, and because of their dragging their feet, they've now had to pay for another emergency room visit and another week-long stay in the hospital. And if I don't get the treatment, if I don't get the BiPAP, the condition that brought me there is chronic.
Yeah.
And will just repeat.
It absolutely is going to come back. There is no doubt that it is going to come back. It's going to come back exactly how it has manifested.
No, I could fall victim to a new symptom. That's before we even get to the.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You probably could.
Be, straight up fatigue or something, driving the car right off the bridge. I fell asleep.
Right.
No intentions of doing this.
So and let's talk about your diagnosis that you have this very bad sleep apnea means that and so what were the numbers? How many times an hour do you stop breathing?
83 apneas an hour.
So
the clinical definition of an apnea, I'm not going to call myself an expert on.
Yep. Talking to the mic, you're a little far away from
the clinical definition of an apnea.
I'm pretty sure it's you not breathing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's got to be more than that because I don't breathe 83 times an hour.
Huh? You don't breathe.
And that means when your blood oxygen drops.
Oh, okay. You definitely breathe more than 83 times an hour. You breathe more than once a minute, or 1.4 times a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
unless
pretty long snores.
Unless you're a fish.
I got some pretty long snores. You gotta see the landlord I had lived in Hawaii my last year. This old guy.
So
what?
Yeah, but you basically stop. I mean, you're not sleeping is what I'm getting at.
I'm not getting decent sleep at all.
You don't sleep hardly at all. Like even when you're sleeping, you're not really sleeping. You don't go into
I don't go into REM sleep.
Into REM sleep at all.
I do not even know when the last time I remember my dreams were. And ever since then, I haven't been having any.
Right.
Which is weird.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
if you all remember Nightmare on Elm Street, you got a dream, kid. You got a dream.
Right? I mean, so it's frustrating that, now we've gone through 2 hospital stays and still can't get the stuff.
This is having insurance.
Yeah.
And all these are the things that are so much more important than the human being. They're supposed to be providing medical care too.
Right. But the good thing is you do have a follow-up on Monday, right?
That's just with my doctor or my family care doctor that
right.
I'll remind everyone sent me home on a wait and see type.
Well, maybe there's something he can do to help. I don't know. I'm hoping there's something that he can do to help because God, man.
Yeah. It's actually
silly. I mean, it's
more depressing because this time I realize it's a clinic and sometimes you just end up with, doctor of the day.
Right.
This particular time I was seeing the PA and not the same doctor I've seen for the past 20 years.
Right.
That was a little depressing to me, but I'm going to trust that she's equal to the task, and we're just going to go with her direction. It's just that was on Friday. And then by Monday I brained myself and I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
And my follow-up is with the same PA. It's like, hey, remember when I was coming in here talking to you about something? It was important.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Guess what happened to me?
Well, she did order a vein ultrasound. Basically wanted to check for deep vein thrombosis and what's the other one? Venous inefficiency.
Right.
Basically, the veins not being able to bring the fluid back up to that.
Oh, gotcha. Right. And that was what part of the
leg swelling.
The leg swelling they thought was, right? But
well, they
that's
wanted you check the symptoms to find the cause.
Right.
And she was like starting from zero. When I'm like, if you'd have flipped through that chart there, you'd see this isn't new.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's extreme now.
Right. It's gotten to the point now where.
And weight. Oh my gosh. I dropped 30 pounds in the hospital.
Did you really?
All fluid.
Really?
Yeah, Monday it was 400, which was like, good God, I'm 400 pounds.
What the hell?
Yeah. All water weight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I mean, it's just amazing because sleep is such an important thing. And I think I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a medical professional whatsoever.
I am a listen to your body type though.
I'm pretty sure that sleep is very important to the entire system of keeping us alive. Just going to say.
As vulnerable as it leaves you while you're doing it, it's still required.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's got to be a strange thing if you think sci-fi and the aliens coming down to study the humans and go, well, look at that. About 1/3 of their day, they all put themselves in this catatonic state. You just walk right up and slap them.
Right.
In fact, that's what we'll dissect their brains. It'll be easier.
Yeah, and so Patty said, yeah, maybe try to get one of those portable air recyclers for constant air. But I mean, we looked at different things. You had gotten a machine from somebody, or we're going to get a machine for someone, but not the one he needs. And the BiPAP has it's not just the pressure going out and not so much the pressure going in of the air, but how much pressure you need to release the air that you're releasing and all that. So,
and I was showing Jody today, we were looking online. I was showing prices of some used refurbished ones.
Right.
And the price is there, but if I could afford spending that, I could probably afford better than this Mickey Mouse insurance.
Yeah.
That's fun ones. I remember being a smoker, and Chantix was coming around. And I couldn't afford Chantix because I didn't have insurance at the time. Mm-hmm. And I got to listen to some doctor at, the neighborhood health clinic. Quit smoking for a month, you can afford Chantix. If I quit smoking for a month, I wouldn't need Chantix, would I?
Yeah, exactly. It took, smoking. I loved smoking. I'll just lay it out there. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the crap out of it. I didn't think I'd ever quit. And then the doctor said, well, I, ended up having a whole heart attack and everything before I was 50. And the doctor said, the biggest part of that is because you're smoking. Yeah. It still took me over a month to quit after getting out of the hospital from a heart attack. So I had a freaking full-on heart attack. Now, let me just say, as somebody that's been through a heart attack, and it was a little more anticlimactic than you think, because it wasn't like a full-on.
It wasn't the big one.
It wasn't the big one. It wasn't the.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it wasn't a "I'm coming, Elizabeth" thing. It was just I haven't felt good for a couple of weeks, and I'm feeling worse, and pain's not going away. This isn't indigestion kind of thing.
I almost feel like I could relate.
Sure enough, they said, yep, you have blockage. Your heart is not pumping the way it should. And so we're going to put these things in there to open it up. Oh, yeah. It was like a 5-hour freaking surgery.
Yeah.
I went through multiple different, injections of fentanyl. They were using fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, give him some more fentanyl. And then there was one point where, like, they went in through my wrist, and there was one part I was coming out of the fentanyl, and then the what they'd given me to numb my wrist was wearing off too. And so when you're coming out of that, you're not you're not completely awake, but you start to hear conversations, right?
Sure.
So I started to hear their conversations about what stint they were going to use and what they were doing. And I start nodding my head or talking, and they're like, give him some more. And so then the second time I start coming out of it, and then I could feel something in my arm. And then I even mentioned it. I said, hey, I kind of feel this thing in my arm, or I can kind of feel something moving around. And then the next thing I know, I feel this warm, just warmth go up my arm. And then I'm out again. So they weren't messing around. But yeah, so it took me, but it took me still. Like, I got out of the hospital and got home and had a cigarette. I had a cigarette when I got home.
I got real lucky with
Microphone.
Yeah. I was at the age where, or I was just at that time in life where I kind of wanted to anyway.
Right. Oh,
but
yeah.
a couple trials and tribulations of not getting it done. But one day my buddy Andy just handed me an old nicotine vaporizer, an electronic cigarette.
Okay.
From his, bushel drawer that he doesn't use anymore.
Right.
And I gave away the half a pack of smokes I had on me within 3 days.
Oh, cool.
And then I wasn't even carrying a lighter by the end of the week.
Wow.
Yeah. And that really, that solved that. And then a couple of years after that, I wasn't even bringing the vaporizer with me anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
I tried to vape. It gave me too much of a dry cough. And
well, I know some of the flavors are just, the names might as well be arbitrary.
Yeah.
Because it could say something like rosemary pomegranate, but it tastes like baseball glove.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then you could overdo it if you're not paying attention to like your levels, because you could have the dude with the Harley Davidson heavy smokes, or you could have the person who just doesn't even get coffee.
So Patty said she came out of her anesthesia when they were taking all of her bits out during her hysterectomy.
That sounds less than pleasant.
That sounds horrible.
You're supposed to finish the procedure by the time
the stuff wears off. Yeah, exactly.
By the time the anesthesiologist is done. Yeah.
Yeah. My gosh, that sounds.
Oh, I used to hate it before a surgery. Sure enough, something would come across my newsfeed or something about anesthesia awareness or something like that. Just, oh, good. Just a good night's sleep before my hospital visit now. Yeah, but luckily, I haven't fallen victim to that one. I think of days of yore, like George Washington having to be awake as they removed a carbuncle.
A what?
A carbuncle.
The hell's a carbuncle?
It's a growth you don't want, and you'd prefer to be asleep when they remove it.
Okay. Yeah. No. It doesn't sound pleasant at all. It doesn't sound like anything I want to know. Yeah, I'm not even going to look it up.
Severe abscess or multiple boil in the skin, typically infected with staph bacteria.
Ow.
And wasn't much for anesthesia in the 1790s. And I just remember watching on a movie about President Washington and him just having to lay there as doctors removed it. Ugh.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Well, that's our medical shit for today. I just had to share that because, I mean, it's kind of emblematic of what the hell's going on with.
It's crazy. It's like, if there's malice here, what the hell long game are they playing?
Mm-hmm.
They can just deny me and let me die instead of stringing me along, letting me think there's hope.
No, exactly. So the only other thing, I don't know if you've ever heard me this. I know I've said this a few times, Michael, but I have this theory now, especially after the
You might be out. I'm not hearing me. My headphones. No, I didn't move anything this time. Okay.
try that.
There you are.
Okay. Just had to reset things. So we're all just hanging out on this earth, right? And we're moving along, and then some big event happens in the universe, and then we kind of all split off on different like it creates like multiple universes, right? Multiple timelines. And the timeline that we are currently stuck in is just freaking silly, right? Like things just sometimes shit just is silly. We just can't you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
You know, like how Michael Jackson had another case filed against him recently. He's been dead 15 years.
Silly. Yes, exactly. Or now this whole entire freaking election season is just it's just getting to the ridiculous point. It's gotten so ridiculous that we have memes like this. DoorDash, Ohio.
And everyone's wondering what the hell's going on in Ohio.
And here's another one. Dogs leaving Springfield, Ohio after watching the debate. Now, I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care. It's just gotten so stupid. And then we get, hang on. The ultimate of the ultimate.
The cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat
like I said,
they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat.
You can't even make this up. You couldn't make this up if you tried.
I just looking back on history, you know, you just really want a lot of what we're having to watch go through.
Yeah.
To just be erased, you know.
Like
you had the Nixon election and the Watergate, and that was big news, and you know, and Kennedy and Bay of Pigs, and then Kennedy and Cuba Missile Crisis. Yeah,
and World War II and World War One, and
then we had an election in the 2000s where we didn't know which restroom to use, and
yeah, and
eat the cat, eat the cat,
right, and then we got kids who aren't legally allowed to make legal decisions, have to have an adult do it for them, are allowed to have themselves removed from the home so they can have the legal life-altering decision to alter themselves.
Right.
They're eating the dogs. They're
Children.
eating the
They're
cats.
minors.
Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat
And
the cat. They're eating the dogs.
There's hundreds of these dances. There's hundreds of these.
They're eating the
You're
dogs.
out
They're
on
eating the cats. Eat the cat.
now some of us said that this is actually the lesbian theme song now. Eat the cat.
Eating the dogs. They're eating the
That's
cats.
just a fad.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
You know,
They're eating the dogs. They're
I
eating
gotta
the
tell you
cats.
though,
Eat
if you
the
bring
cat.
in a lot
Eat
of
the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
you know,
Eat
members
the
of our
cat.
culture,
They're
and they
eating the
just bring their own cultures with them.
Yes.
Doge are entrees
They're
in
eating
several
the dogs.
cultures in this
They're
planet.
eating the
Oh,
cats.
yeah,
Eat
no,
the cat. Eat
So
the
if we
cat.
bring a
They're
couple of them
eating the
home
dogs. They're
or
eating-
here
they're
and they
eating
bring
the
their
dogs.
menus
They're
with them,
eating-
or their recipes,
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being a real issue. I don't know if it is or not. I
So
don't think people are grabbing
there
pets,
is-
and you shouldn't grab anyone's pets.
there's a little bit of truth in a lot of these things. There is some there's some weirdness going on, yes.
Yeah.
So here's another
I
one
mean,
that
in Florida, those guys on flock are
But-
eating faces.
there's not it's not an epidemic yet. But then there's this guy. Now this is another one that we've got created tonight, which is
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Well,
what the
And-
fuck? Where the hell? are
And
we?
in the former president's defense, I would really hope
that
he set his research team into overdrive on that one
No,
before he
he didn't,
blabbered that
though,
in
dude.
public.
He didn't. He
course he
absolutely
didn't.
did not. Because there's,
not.
I mean, there's.
Well, a lot of things that-
like everything else. There is issues going on in that city. There are issues with stuff happening. There is credible evidence and people that are saying that the duck and the geese population is shrinking, but there's
Seriously,
not
it is.
like a bunch of
birds
you
aren't real.
oh yeah oh yeah, that's right, birds aren't real. But we do have there is a giant problem with what we've done as far as the border has gone. But we've let it get to we take these very serious issues
Eat the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're
and we
cats.
shrink
They're
it down to
eating the
this.
dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat
And the most
cat.
instead of having substantive conversations about topics that need substantive conversations,
Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're
we
eating
get
the cat.
this.
They're eating the dogs.
This is the most popular thing.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
This is our here's our substantive conversation
They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
that get millions and millions of views.
They're
Yeah.
eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the
Remember, it was
cat.
just
Eat
20
the
short
cat.
years ago.
They're
We had that beautiful girl from England. Was her name Dido, something like that? And something about,
What? Who?
don't know. I'm just thinking of better songs.
Okay. Oh, better songs than this. Oh, don't worry. This is a brain worm, man. It gets stuck.
Yeah.
I've been walking around for days. And that last day is going, eat the cat. Eat. No, stop. Get it out of my hand. Well, okay. So cat. So I
Training,
showed
don't
this to
know
my wife
why.
last night. I just remembered, and we're gonna
Got out
end
of
on
bed
this
at
one.
all.
So think about if aliens were watching us and aliens came down and said,
No.
take us to your leader. And we're like,
If they were paying
Are you-
attention at all before they got here, they would not. They would drive right on by.
right, you just unplugged yourself completely. Oh, you're gone. You're completely gone. Yeah, no. So Patty makes a good point. There are actual credible. There's body cam footage. There's 911 calls. People have. Oh, there you go. Whoa, you disappeared there for a second. Are you? Oh wait, hang on. Did you plug it back in?
I didn't unplug. I hear you and everything.
Unplugged your mic, I think. Your microphone's completely unplugged. Right?
I don't believe so.
Is there a cord going into your mic?
Yes.
All right. Well, something happened because I heard it go away and you're gone.
How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
There's the button to press.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. So, yeah, nope. There are, Patty, you're correct. There are calls. There is footage. There is calls to the police. There are people who have testified, but we just have gotten, I mean, we can't take it seriously though. Nobody's taking it seriously, even, or the people that are being affected by it. And I got some stuff next week I want to get into because what's not being reported, what happens is when you get in a debate and you say they're eating the dogs and eating the cats, nobody in that debate mentioned that, and let me pull it up here real quick. Nobody in that debate mentioned
Carnivores in Ohio.
no, that's not the post I'm looking for. Stand by. Come on. Nope, not that one. Wait. Okay, so nobody in that debate mentioned that the NGO Baker Ripley, that's based in Houston, Texas, in 2019, they had revenues of $365 million from the government. And in 2022, it has doubled to $603 million. And this is one NGO, one that handles incoming people from other countries. This is the story. These are the stories. These NGOs are the story because there's billions and billions, possibly $1 trillion that are going to these non-governmental organizations. And they're the ones they're the reason why there's people coming from other countries that are getting housing and money and clothes and everything handed to them, while we have thousands and thousands of homeless people on the streets that are American citizens. So,
not that I condone violence, but people, next time you riot, these are the companies you need to riot against.
yes, don't go against Starbucks. Find a Baker Ripley. Find the other damn NGOs.
Find a you're just taking the government's money hand over fist.
Bust out their windows.
Yeah.
Let them replace a window or two.
Not condoning violence, never would.
No, not going to do it. Yeah, no, and Patty, I watched a little bit of that city council meeting, and the people going back and forth there were, I don't know, it's so weird. It's just so crazy. But the real story is not the pets. I mean, it's one of the small pieces of the story, but and the media loves getting on these tangents. They love going down this alley, right? Because this alley doesn't show that you have companies that are raking in tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're paying their executives millions and millions of dollars.
Who's gonna turn away a bonus?
But we have
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating.
Yeah, that's what we got
And-
contend with.
And
So like
we
I
have-
said, we at one point we got off on this parallel universe that is just the nuttiest parallel universe of parallel universes.
I thought after that earthquake in India in the Bay of Bengal in 2004, I think it was.
Mm.
It's like 250,000 people dead by morning.
Oh, right.
That earthquake, that tsunami, right?
Yep.
That
Oh, that
actually
could've been it.
altered the shape of the earth.
That could have been it.
By
I
a
mean, it
degree.
had to have happened before 2016.
And I thought then that, the world is going to start spinning out of control. But
right.
wow, we got an elevated time scale on that.
Yep.
F minus.
Oh, I saw that whistleblower thing too. We'll see if that we'll see what happens with that. So, okay, on that note, got off to a bit of a rough start. Thanks for hanging in with us. You'll probably see a test stream pop up in this weekend because I'm going to try
Join in, like, and share.
Going to try and fix my studio thing, my live streaming studio. I was just talking about how great this program is, and then all of a sudden it just decided to not work for me tonight. So I might actually try and fix it as soon as we hang up here. But yeah, anyway, all right. And then I'm also planning on doing some shorter videos about the stream we had on Tuesday with Scott with the digital Bill of Rights, because that was very, very cool conversation. And I want to chop that up into some smaller bits that we can kind of just put out the concepts out there without all the, in between yakking that we did, because that's what we do. But yeah, so look for some shorter videos on that topic. That'll be coming up soon. And then, yeah. And then I'll keep you updated of whether does Michael get his breathing stuff or not? That'd be the next question. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's just amazing to me that twice now I've recently left a medical provider on, either things are good or let's wait and see, only to be in the hospital, beginning of next week.
Yeah, no, exactly. I hopefully you're not going to be in the hospital next week, though.
Yeah.
We'll do everything we can to keep you out of that. And it takes a couple months for you to get back to that bad anyway, but who knows, maybe it'll accelerate this time.
Well, even Houston said, just 3 days on the machine and the improvements have been.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it needs to happen. We'll make it happen. If we got to buy our own. All right. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you
Thank you.
next time.